Welcome in, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for this explainer. Today, we're going to completely deconstruct the cloud kitchen ecosystem. If you've ever found yourself wondering about the actual mechanics behind all those delivery-only brands popping up on your favorite food ops, well, you're in the right place. We are going to build a ground-up, first principles understanding of how this model actually works, why it succeeds, and exactly what needs to be true for it to actually turn a profit. So let's just tackle the biggest misconception right out of the gate. Is a cloud kitchen really just a restaurant without the tables? I mean, on a surface level, you'd probably think, yeah, sure, just take out the chairs, keep the stove, and boom, you've got a cloud kitchen, right? Well, actually, as we're going to see, that assumption completely misses the entire point of the business model.
The reality here is that a true cloud kitchen is a logistics hub. It's designed for movement, not display. You see, you don't build it to impress people walking by on the street. You build it to route orders efficiently, slash wasted space, and handle serious volume with as little friction as humanly possible. By separating the food production entirely from a dining space, the business can hyper-focus on what digital customers actually care about, which is convenience, speed, and consistency.
Which brings us to our first core section, not just missing tables. This is where the underlying logic fundamentally changes. Think about a traditional restaurant for a second. It's essentially a hospitality stage, right? It's built to impress, pull in foot traffic, and offer this holistic dining experience. Now, compare that to a cloud kitchen. A cloud kitchen is purely a production engine. There's no front of house to manage, no mood lighting to adjust. The success metric here isn't ambiance. It's literally just how smoothly and reliably you can convert raw inputs into delivery-ready meals. Once you strip away that dine-in element, well, rent, staffing, and risk, they all play totally different roles. Moving right along to Section 2, the 4 core mechanics. Let's look at this interconnected system. The very first force in this system is demand. And I want you to think of demand like a faucet. You know, a cloud kitchen doesn't succeed just because the food sounds delicious in theory. It succeeds because there's repeatable demand driven by urgency and convenience. Think about it. A trendy, highly photographed dessert? That might get you a fun little spike in curious weekend orders. But a reliable, affordable lunch bowl, that's what builds a daily habit. If your concept only attracts occasional curiosity, your faucet is barely dripping, and the whole system starts to struggle. The model is demand-sensitive way before it is food-sensitive. Next up is the kitchen itself, which basically acts as a small factory line. In a cloud kitchen setup, the burners, the prep stations, the packing areas, they are all part of one cohesive, low-waste conversion unit. Remember, it's not a stage to entertain visitors. It's judged purely by how quickly and how consistently it can turn raw ingredients into finished orders without buckling under high volume. The third force is delivery, and this operates exactly like a relay race. Delivery is not just some optional add-on. It is literally part of the core product. The customer experience continues out there on the road. So if the kitchen hands off a poorly packaged meal or the routing is a mess, the race is lost. I mean, a burger that arrives soggy and cold 20 minutes late, that is fundamentally a different product than one arriving hot and perfectly intact. Okay, Section 3, designing menu and brand. This is all about surviving that relay race. There is one absolutely fundamental rule here you've got to remember. Menu design is business design. Every single item on your menu is a production plan. And honestly, this is where so many operators get it completely wrong. Because if you create this massive, overly complex menu where every dish requires totally different ingredients and prep methods, you're basically forcing your kitchen to build a brand new road for every single order. And that just creates total chaos, massive delays, and a ton of waste. Instead, a smart, delivery-friendly menu follows some very specific rules. First, you want a small number of core shared ingredients used across multiple items to minimize waste. Second, you need rapid assembly times to keep that line moving fast. Third, the food absolutely must have delivery resilience. It has to survive a 20-minute super bumpy scooter ride and still taste amazing. And finally, you need a clear pricing ladder. You have to ensure your margins aren't just getting eaten alive by platform commissions. It's all about reducing the moving parts so everything aligns perfectly with the system's flow. Now for Section 4, the leaky bucket. Because ultimately, economics is the ultimate test. I want you to take a second and really process this thought. Growth is not automatically good. Growth only helps when the basic economics already work. Now, high order volume, that sounds fantastic, sure. But it means absolutely nothing if you're actively losing money on every single order going out the door. If you have weak margins, scaling up your order volume is literally just going to create much bigger losses much faster. It's kind of like turning up the speed on a broken machine. You're just going to get more breakdowns.
In real-world day-to-day operations, it's incredibly easy to spring a leak. Let's break it down. Your ingredient mix. That directly dictates your food costs and your waste. Your packaging choices dictate delivery quality, but obviously they affect your costs too. Platform fees create constant, unavoidable margin leakage. Prep efficiency impacts your labor costs. Basically, every single operational choice you make directly dictates whether you're keeping water in the bucket or just draining it right out.
So ultimately, the single most important metric in a cloud kitchen is the number one. One, individual order. After all your direct costs are paid, the ingredients, the packaging, platform commissions, labor, how much money is actually left over from just one single order? Because if the economics on that one individual order don't work, well, the entire business doesn't work. Which brings us to our final section, Section 5, thinking like an owner and building a truly scalable food business. Getting this right requires a complete cognitive shift. You have to ask yourself, are you an operator or are you an owner? See, an operator focuses mostly on tasks. They're asking, did we get the orders out? Was the food good? But an owner focuses on fit. An owner stops just asking if the food was tasty and starts asking what has to be true for the entire system to generate sustainable value. An owner uses a totally different diagnostic checklist. They relentlessly ask, are these individual orders actually profitable? Is our customer demand truly repeatable? Is the menu helping the system flow or is it hurting it? They separate the vanity growth from the real profitability. They treat the delivery as a core part of the product. Ultimately, an owner sees the complex business mechanics operating right underneath the kitchen surface. So I want to leave you with this final, powerful takeaway. A cloud kitchen is a business of controlled flow. Demand flows in, ingredients flow through, orders flow out, and money only remains if the system is incredibly disciplined. The next time you open up an app and order delivery, I really want you to look at the brand and ask yourself, are they just a kitchen making food or are they a masterclass in controlled flow? Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer today. Keep asking those right questions, and I will see you next time.